This episode is brought to you by CBS. DMV is a brand new workplace comedy turning misery into magic and chaos into comedy. Starring Harriet Dyer and Tim Meadows, DMV is here to serve you laughs. Watch Mondays at 8:30, 7:30 Central on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Carvana makes car selling fast and easy from start to finish. Enter your license plate or VIN and get a real offer in seconds, down to the penny. If you accept, Carvana will come pick up your car from your driveway. Or you can drop it off at one of our car vending machines. Either way, you get paid instantly. It's fast, transparent, and 100% online. Car selling that saves your time. That's Carvana.
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
Welcome to episode 70 of the Inside Job Boards and Recruitment Marketplaces podcast, a breaking news episode. I am Stephen Rothberg, one of your two co-hosts. I am the founder of College Recruiter job search site. We believe that every student and recent grad deserves a great career. Peter, welcome back.
Thank you very much. We had an amazing rec buzz, and we've already had 4 or 5 registrations for next year, people who went and just said, got to go back. So it was wonderful. It's good to be back, and I leave tomorrow. It's always either on the road or home.
Well, is that a Willie Nelson reference, On the Road Again? Because I'm going to see him in concert this Saturday, Saturday night.
If he is able to stand up between now and then.
Wow.
91 years old, you looked up. Amazing.
Awesome.
But then there are those guys who are 80, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, who are doing a concert in Orlando in a couple of weeks. And from every review I've seen, they're just going incredibly strong at 80. And I saw McCartney last year just after his 80th birthday. And he was remarkable too. So, and now we have somebody who's much younger than
that. Some mornings he might feel like he's 91, but he's not chronologically 91.
George LaRocque, founder of WorkTech, and a follower of many things HR tech related in the US. We're going to talk about what the OFCCP new rules mean, but we're going to start out. First of all, do you want to say anything to further introduce yourself, George, or just dig right into OFCCP and what it means?
I'm happy to do a quick intro, and thanks for having me here. I'm a return guest, so I'm honored that you had me back.
First return guest, by the way.
Is that right? Okay, so I'm going to update the LinkedIn profile.
Is that a skill? Is that would LinkedIn call it a skill?
Is that boring or what?
Well, WorkTech is a market intelligence company, and we provide data, insights, and advisory to largely to tech providers globally in the HR tech and work tech space. So we're looking at everything from macro employment trends to capital coming into the space and buying trends, spending trends, et cetera. So that's WorkTech, and I've been in the industry a very long time, and just happy.
Willie Nelson was a boy.
Bill Clinton was president. That I know.
That sounds about right. Yep. Yep.
Bill who? Never heard of him. Okay, now that we've wasted almost 4 minutes, let's get to OFCCP. George, why don't you explain what it is, what the new rules are, and the impact it will have on job boards and recruitment marketplaces, or they will have on recruitment marketplaces and job boards.
Yeah. So the OFCCP is the Office of Federal Contract Compliance Programs. That's why we always just say OFCCP. And they are responsible for making sure that anyone doing business with the federal government, so any federal contractors or subcontractors, are complying with equal opportunity laws. So they are at any given time doing, thousands of audits of federal contractors or subcontractors to make sure that they're complying. The thing that, while this is, breaking news, it's just come out in the last couple of weeks, they released their guidance for AI, using AI in employment for federal contractors. It's probably, the most anticipated thing that we've all been on the edge of our seats waiting to see where is all of this regulation going. And it's an initial piece of guidance, and it is really highlighting the need to move to responsible AI. So they do a really good job in the guidance of describing, everything. What is AI? What is an algorithm? What are the positive aspects and the concerns for using AI in employment? And then they give some initial guidance. And the thing that stuck out to me, this one line in their guidance: federal contractors should not rely solely on AI and automated systems to make employment decisions, and ensure there is a meaningful human oversight of any such decisions supported by AI. So this is about as vague as anything that initially comes out from the government, but it's and we're learning as we go as to what this means, and I'm sure we'll hear more from them. But here's the thing, this impacts the entire industry. So how does it impact job boards? I did a little research on my way into the podcast, and every one of the following major boards have messaged that they're using AI in the process of matching. And this is Indeed, LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, I'm not going to pronounce the big one with a Z in Germany.
Zing?
Not Zing, Zeppahire, something like that in Germany. Total Jobs, which acquired Maya, which is an AI tool. Reed in the UK. And then I've got about 28 all through the US and Italy that expressly do matching. That have raised funds in the last 3 years or so. And so these are focused on anything from early career to disciplines in the trades to disciplines, sort of knowledge workers. And if, think about.
Welcome to The Human Role, your go-to podcast where HR and payroll collide with innovation. I'm your host, Tiana Neal, and every month I'm diving deep with industry experts and change makers, bringing you real talk insights, practical tips, and fresh takes you won't hear anywhere else. Whether you're a leader, practitioner, or just curious about the latest HR and payroll trends, I've got you covered. Ready to roll with the best? Tune in for fresh perspectives, actionable tips, and the knowledge you need to roll forward with confidence. Subscribe now and let's transform the way you work.
The corporation's job ad generating a candidate, there being some matching and some of that information being passed along to the ATS. Think about it then going through yet another matching engine. That it's not difficult to see this these regulations starting to impact everyone. Now, in Europe, they have the EU AI Act, which puts employment-based AI on their high-risk category. So I think we're in a mode where we're going to see, just as with GDPR, tech vendors had to start to find sort of the high water mark, like what can we comply with that will help us comply as much across the board. I think we're figuring that out now. But anybody in the US that's hiring even remotely from anywhere, or anybody hiring, it's just going to be very confusing for a while. And I think one of the big differences with specifically this OFCCP regulation is we've always had OFCCP regulations. Tech providers have always provided data that employers would leverage to stay compliant. But now the tech platforms are right in the crosshairs here, and the kind of audits and the kind of detail that's needed in those black boxes that hold those algorithms. This is not a moment to wave your hands as a tech provider at this. It's time to dig in and really understand how you can support your clients, because they're going to be looking for that support. And if they don't get it, they're going to move on because the risk is very high. So that's my long.
Yeah. So one of the things that in my conversations with other job board owners and leaders that I hear is like a common mistake is that we're just a software provider. How the employer chooses to use our software, that's their problem. But I think you hit upon a really important word, and that's the matching, because the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, which sort of overlaps with OFCCP, they've made it very clear that you, as the tech provider and the employer, if the burden is on you to show that the software is non-discriminatory, right? That if it's excluding women or people with disabilities or whatever, it's your problem, both the tech provider and the employer. So it kind of sounds to me like, George, that what you're saying is that to the extent that job boards are using AI or other tech that's doing matching, that's doing selection, that these are the 3 candidates that you should interview or maybe even hire if it's fully automated, that's going to be a real problem. Is that what you're seeing here?
That's what I'm seeing, what I'm anticipating based on other EEOC. The EEOC weighed in on a lawsuit with work that Workday's involved in, and they wrote a brief. It's not an EEOC lawsuit, but they contributed an opinion that the case should move forward, and that potentially, based on the technology, that they're acting as the employer based on matching and selection. There's somebody who feels that they were left out of several hiring processes at Workday clients. So the argument a lot of folks have is the one that your friends at job boards have, which is, but it's software. The business model isn't that. It's just to provide technology. But that's not really the point. The point is the technology is doing matching and selection at some level. The OFCCP's guidance that it's linked to from the article that you shared, their guidance is that the employer is responsible for everything, the algorithm, any selection that is provided within the tech. So now they've also pulled the tech into the equation. So whether you're looking at it from a co-employment perspective as if the tech is acting as an agency, or whether you're looking at it as a liability from, all of these software contracts have indemnification clauses. So we're responsible up to a certain dollar amount, or we're responsible, or not responsible for certain things. It could get dicey for anyone involved in the process where there's selection. Yeah, dicey.
Dicey,
Bad word. That's
a different job board. We're just about out of time, so I'm going to interrupt here and say Stephen has compiled 2 or 3 or 4 links to articles and resources that he's going to show one at a time on the screen. You can't click the links, but you can freeze them and copy them if you would like, if your eyesight is that good, or you can Google them, just differences between EEOC and OFCCP and some of the others that he's bringing up. George's article,
and this is the same one that I had the QR code for a minute ago. Another one that's really good for people who want more information is Kevin Roos is a New York Times journalist and also the co-host of the Hard Fork podcast. He just came out with this article, and it's basically about Anthropic, one of the big large language model AI companies, the LLMs. They're just starting to figure out why their LLM generates the results that it does. And I think that's one of the problems with these AI models is that if you get audited or sued, the OFCCP is going to say, well, show us why you ranked this candidate higher than that candidate. And if you don't know, it's your problem. It's not the employer's problem, regardless of what the indemnification clause. It's both of yours. This is
Canada famously lost a lawsuit where they claimed that their AI chatbot gave somebody the wrong answer and they weren't responsible for it. And to its great credit, the Canadian regulators said, "Are you kidding me? It's your AI chatbot. Give the man his money back."
But Air Canada said sorry.
Yeah. On that note, we're out of time. So we're going to wrap up. George, thank you. Next time I'm in New York, we got to catch up. Assuming you're still in New York.
Not far.
Stephen, next time I'm in Minneapolis, well, that'll never happen if I can help it. So we'll catch up sometime soon.
Awesome. And just one closing note for the viewers who are outside the US or who aren't doing business in the US, understand that this is going to impact you as well. Because a lot of the tech providers are not going to create a different version of their code for the EU versus the UK versus Brazil versus the US. There will be some that will have different versions, but the reality is, if you have more than 50 employees and you're doing business in the US, you are probably subject to the OFCCP regulations.
No probably about it.
Yeah.
On that note, because I know you don't like to run long, Stephen, George, thank you for joining us.
Awesome.
Stephen, see you on the other side of my trip and looking forward to it.
May Italy survive your vacation.
Thanks.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks.